Coming up on Fulton Today. The grand opening of a new youth and community center creates the pathway to success for young people and former county inmates. And National Night Out 2017 brings together public safety agencies and the public they serve. That and much more starts right now on Fulton Today. Welcome to Fulton Today, everybody. I'm Shania Chavis-Rucker. We've got details on the new deadline for the newly sent out tax assessment notices. At its last meeting, Fulton's Board of Assessors approved the new values which reflected the 2016 levels. They also agreed to send the notices out starting August 4th. Now, the modification was the result of countless emails and phone calls from residents to the Board of Commissioners and the Board of Assessors who were all upset about the massive increases in values. The new deadline to submit your appeal is September 18th.
They will have 45 days from the date on the notice to appeal the value if they think that the value is wrong.
Now, to learn more about the new tax assessment notices and how to submit your appeal before that September 18th deadline, log on to fultonassessor.org. A pathway to success has been created for Atlanta youth and for some former Fulton County inmates. FGTV's Daryl Peak explains.
A ribbon-cutting ceremony kicked off the grand opening of the At Promise Youth Center.
We have to offer our kids something better, something different.
Located in historic English Avenue, the state-of-the-art learning and community facility offers specialized services for young people and a gathering place for residents and group activities.
In the relative short amount of time that the At Promise Center initiative has been afoot, we've seen a 37% reduction of crime in English Avenue and Vine City Police Department beats. That's huge.
Although the At Promise Youth Center was funded by the Atlanta Police Foundation, the Fulton County Sheriff's Office is partnering with the foundation to provide a reentry program for former inmates.
Our role will be dealing with inmates once they're released. We have a GED program and a program to place them in housing or jobs or medical attention, whatever they need with the center. And also with some of the juveniles are being referred here by juvenile court. So this is an effort to help young people change their lives and help those that have made a mistake, that have been jailed, to turn their lives around.
At Promise brings police and community partners together to create pathways to success by focusing on diversion, intervention, and prevention. And in the end, it creates a safer community for all.
For this neighborhood, this center is hope. This is an At Promise Center that's giving us a promise of something new in the future.
Reporting for FGTV, I'm Daryl Peak.
And in other county news, Fulton's 2017 National Night Out kicks off with a band, Westlake High School Band. Every Fulton County law enforcement and public safety agency set up their mobile shops at the Wolf Creek Amphitheater parking lot, all in an effort to greet the community they serve.
This event has been important to our department for many years because it helps to bring us together. It also illustrates that in many ways we are together and we work together as a partnership.
It's such an exciting event. I am a resident of South Fulton, so it's so nice to see our firefighters and our police officers and be able to dance with them and celebrate them and learn more about what they do on a daily basis.
Other Fulton departments and services also set up booths. This event happens in thousands of communities in the U.S. on the same evening, and it is a part of the national campaign to better community police relations. We'll have more on the 2017 National Night Out all this week on Talk Fulton. Some Fulton and Atlanta students wrapped up their summer break with a lesson in production from our FGTV crew.
Hold the open, play.
The Fulton County Junior District Attorneys made their annual visit to our TV studios to learn how to produce their own newscast.
Our trip and visit to FGTV was extraordinary. It allows them to see the news behind the scenes. And I just think it was just so informative. They get to not only see what the anchor and the reporters do, but the team that it takes to make a great news show.
The students were behind the scenes as directors, audio techs, and camera operators. And some became anchors and reporters for the day.
I learned that you need to be very cooperative with everybody. So if somebody doesn't do their part right, then you have to restart. So you need to be patient too. And you need to try your best.
The key is to communicate. You can't do it if you don't have communication. Like in our first run, we had a bit of problems because the sound wasn't working and I was a bit confused about the buttons. So we had to take different takes. So you just have to communicate and know what people have to do, because everybody has a different job.
The Junior DA's program is a yearly initiative of the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. You can contact the Community Prosecutor's Office to get details about the 2018 summer experience. And speaking of the Fulton County District Attorney's Office, 2 Fulton prosecutors are honored as Georgia's most powerful and influential attorneys. Executive Assistant District Attorney Clint Rucker and Deputy District Attorney Ron Dixon were recipients of this year's Law and Justice Awards. The men were in good company with other winners like former Georgia Senator Leroy Johnson. Fulton County DA Paul L. Howard Jr. said both men are deserving for their outstanding service to the people of Fulton County.
Ron serves as the moral compass of the DA's office. He's the guy that when you relate any matter, he can quickly tell you whether or not that's right or wrong. And that's what is really important to the DA's office. We've got right here one of the most outstanding trial lawyers in this country, bar none. That's Clint Rucker. Because of his abilities, he has inspired a generation of other young lawyers.
The awards event was hosted by the Women's Works Media Group and held at the Ritz-Carlton. You can hear more about all of this year's winners at womenlookingahead.com. And in full disclosure, Clint Rucker is my husband. Congratulations. Still to come on Fulton Today, bragging rights are on the line on the basketball court, and all for a good cause. Details in our district by district coverage next. Ball players hoop it up for a good cause at a county-operated park, and details from our elections department on the upcoming District 4 commission seat race. Here's this week's district by district coverage. We begin with a community meeting at the Ponce Library hosted by Chairman John Eves. The at-large commissioner has been meeting with residents all around the county for his second round of forums all about the 2017 tax assessment notices. Citizens who attended this meeting got the new anticipated timeline for when the new notices could be appealed.
Great citizen civic engagement, a lot of wonderful questions that are asked and answered by our staff, but more importantly, we get a lot of feedback from our citizens.
As we mentioned earlier in the show, the deadline to appeal the revised notices is September 18th. Again, you can visit the Fulton County Tax Assessor's website at fultonassessor.org. In District 4, Fulton County residents will soon find out the names of the people who want to represent the district on the Board of Commissioners. Registration and elections officials at the Fulton County Government Center have processed a few declaration of intent forms for candidates who have entered the race.
The declaration of intent form allows candidates to raise money for their campaign for the office of Commissioner District 4.
Next up is actually qualifying for the seat. The District 4 seat was left vacant following the passing of former Vice Chair Commissioner Joan P. Garner. Now check out the Secretary of State's website to get information on the candidates in the race, and visit the county's elections website to get details on the voter registration for the November election. District 5 Commissioner Marvin Arrington Jr. laces up his sneakers for his celebrity basketball tournament. A packed gym at Welcome All Park cheered on the players as they hustled for bragging rights during this year's event.
We've got a great crowd. The audience, the community has responded well. We're also hosting the Welcome All reunion here today. We thought that this would be the perfect time to ask all of those people that grew up in Welcome All Park, playing sports, being active and involved in the community, to come back out and support Welcome All.
So we do this every year as an annual event. What we do is actually bring the community together, actually give out school supplies, wellness tips, screenings, AIDS testing, diabetes checks, and just have basketball as an entertainment.
The commissioner partnered with the Georgia Spartans basketball team, who are a semi-pro basketball team in the state of Georgia. The Spartans play in the Universal Basketball Association and United Men Basketball League. The Georgia Spartans are the two-time undefeated champions of the UMBL. And finally, in District 6, an update on the repairs to the Byrd Park Pavilion. Parts of the pavilion were recently damaged. County officials confirmed that 2016 funds will be used for the pavilion repairs.
We are indeed encouraged that we are beginning to move forward in our plans to upgrade Byrd Park Pavilion. It is such an important part of the District 6 community. We want to thank everybody who has worked with us to make this achievement possible.
This is another step in our efforts to make sure that we are sustaining and enhancing all of our parks and recreation facilities. We put in a new roof system here at Byrd just earlier this year, and just before that we replaced the entire heating and air conditioning system here at Byrd. So again, it's a step in the same direction of trying to upgrade our facilities and improve them. We have a long way to go. There are a lot of other things that we have in mind that we'd like to do to bring more enhancements here to not only the Byrd Recreation Center and Park, but all of our parks and recreation facilities locations throughout South Fulton.
Byrd Park was packed all summer long with programs for youth. County services for the park will terminate on or before November 2018 and will be transferred to the new city of South Fulton. Until then, the county has pledged to continue with its year-long programs and services. Now you can catch more of your commissioners at work all this week with the rebroadcast of the Board of Commissioners meeting right here on FGTV. And when Fulton Today returns, an update on the effort to end AIDS in Fulton County. Stay with us, everybody. The Fulton County Task Force on HIV and AIDS presents its progress report to Fulton County Commissioners on its effort to end AIDS in the county. So how are the numbers looking, and has any progress been made? FGTV's Priscilla Ortega has the story.
The Fulton County Board of Commissioners created the task force almost 3 years ago after becoming aware of the devastating facts about HIV/AIDS in the county. Since then, this group has been working diligently to end this potentially deadly disease in Fulton. At the Center for Civil and Human Rights in downtown Atlanta, a panel of health experts and government leaders discussed what the task force had learned during its last phase of work in the area of HIV/AIDS in the county.
I'm excited about some of the things that have happened along the way.
Chairman John Eves, who created the group, along with the late Vice Chair Joan Garner, helped to lead the discussion.
Very sobering statistics, but on the other hand, there's some encouraging news in terms of how we are laying out a more effective, more aggressive intervention, education, prevention plan, and also some very bold recommendations that are being made to my Board of Commissioners in terms of policy.
According to the group's findings, Fulton County sits at the epicenter of the American HIV epidemic. In 2015, metropolitan Atlanta is first in the nation in its rate of new HIV diagnosis among African American males, and second in the nation in the rate of new HIV diagnosis among males ages 25 to 34. Overall, metropolitan Atlanta ranks 5th, and Georgia ranks 3rd in the nation in their rates of all new HIV diagnoses in 2015.
We still need to ensure that everyone with HIV in the county is identified and has access to treatment as soon as possible after infection. But I would like to see us get to no new infections. I mean, that's really the goal ultimately.
The group formally presented its findings, which included a report on the progress to date and specific high priority recommendations for 2017 and 2018. The report also addresses HIV prevention, care and treatment, and social determinants of health, especially housing and education.
I think there's just a lot of opportunity for partnerships where we haven't had partnerships before. The task force has talked about looking at behavioral health and some other areas where we haven't traditionally been proactive in the HIV arena. That's something that we can really begin to address.
The progress report includes information on issues that impact all of these areas, including access to care and workforce shortages, stigma and discrimination, and intercultural awareness. The task force presented its Phase 1 report about 2 years ago and the Phase 2 report in June of 2016. Now, because of the vast amount of work still left to do, the Board of Commissioners formally sunsetted the task force to form a more permanent HIV prevention, care, and policy advisory committee that will continue the work and report back to the board. Reporting for FGTV, I'm Priscilla Ortega.
Thank you very much, Priscilla. Meanwhile, Fulton's Pitch Partners give faith-based leaders the tools they need to sustain their wellness ministries. The Partnerships to Improve Community Health Program staffers hosted a free workshop at the Oak Hill Child, Adolescent, and Family Center. Their church leaders got tips and resources from experts in health program management, grant writing, and policy systems and environmental change.
The takeaway message that I wanted the faith communities to have about the Fulton County Health, Environment, and Livability platform was that they had access to data within their reach to be able to write the grant applications to help improve their communities.
The interactive exercises gave participants the skills they need to conduct their own community needs assessments and sustainability plans. Now, this information can help them to research funding opportunities and the grant application process.
We are doing a grant writing class for them today to help them sustain those efforts to be able to apply for funding at the community level, state level, and federal level.
Since 2016, the Pitch Program's Interfaith Active Living Initiative has provided 38 faith-based congregations with educational materials, resources, and technical assistance for their wellness activities. And still to come, a man who's left his mark in the field of aviation shares his story. We'll hear from him when Fulton Today returns. Fulton's art enthusiasts will be happy to know that over $1.5 million has been allocated for more arts programs and services. Fulton commissioners approved the fiscal year 2017 contracts for services program recommendations, and now the arts team is now working to ensure those services are underway.
Approval of the contract for services grant awards for 2017 by the Board of Commissioners is essential for our arts community to be able to provide the kind of vitality in our community in Fulton County. And it certainly it's an important resource for them to continue to operate.
For many organizations, that money will serve as essential funding to support their work in the community, as well as provide the cultural services residents deserve. Fulton County is the largest funder of arts and culture in the state, providing once again $1.55 million each year. The Aviation Community Cultural Center, in partnership with the Black Aviation Airline Pioneers, presented retired Navy Captain Donnie L. Cochran to the center's Aviation Speaker series. Captain Cochran is the first African-American pilot to fly and command the popular Blue Angels. Instead of regaling in his days as a pilot, his message focused on making a difference in today's world.
As a result of having an opportunity to fly with the Blue Angels, I've had many opportunities to share my journey with a lot of people. And I wanted to sort of say more than just showing videos and still shots. I wanted to talk about, well, how did I go from a farm in Pelham, Georgia, to actually flying fighter jets off an aircraft carrier.
Along with his Blue Angel credentials, Captain Cochran is also a 2016 Georgia Military Veteran Hall of Fame inductee. If you'd like more information about the Aviation Speaker Series, call 404-612-8600 or log on to fultonarts.org. Wow, what a treat. Well, before we go, we'd like to remind you that we'd like to connect with you online. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and watch us anytime on our YouTube channel. Well, that does it for this edition of Fulton Today. I'm Shania Chavis Rucker. Thank you so much for watching. Join us each week for news around and about Fulton County.